So 2 years in trying to prepare this narrowboat for cruising, and this happened. Luckily, this was a test run and not the real thing. But it's not great, is it, guys? It's not a good look, is it? Yeah, we'd taken the boat out for a cruise so that we could test the batteries, and it ended in this blimmin' chaos. Luckily, 2 fellow narrowboaters that we met on our travels, Faye and Michael, managed to get us out, and my partner in crime, Becca, took charge of the tiller. So we'd been warned weeks back that the flow of the river was pretty strong, really. Roughly 3 or 4 narrowboats that went under here during our stay bumped it. But we got out in the end. If you want to see the chaos and what happened there, check out the last few episodes. Time to get back to the marina and check out the damage. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is what guilt looks like. I mean, look at the face. Yeah, she proper whacked it, didn't she, as it came through that last time. But I've got us home safely, so let's get on with the show. And let's get looking at some of the damage that I've caused, let's face it. And more so, how we're going to fix it. Thankfully, every time we come back to this marina, the boat just slides back into its spot very successfully. It seems pretty easy. It's either I'm very highly skilled, or I've just been very lucky so far. Or it's just blimmin' easy, alright? I think it's just easy. So the main thing to remember on this marina when you're coming in and you're going into our spot is that we want to get the front, the nose of our vessel into this top left corner up here by the evil little turbine, and then we want to swing the back of the boat round and reverse back nice and gently into our little home. Back to the drawing board, I think. I mean, maybe I'll just let Bex do all the driving and I sit up the front with my cup of tea. I mean, that was always the dream, weren't it? So let's get her parked up and check out the damage. So here we are, all safe and sound. I've been known to say that the outside of a narrowboat is just a shell, you know, something that's going to get knocked around, and the inside of the boat is really what we want to keep looking all nice and lovely. But I've sort of eaten my words here, because there is a hell of a lot of scrapes on this left side of the narrowboat. I mean, some deeper than other areas, but something needs to be done here. We do not want more corrosion on this poor boat. And our poor new cratch cover too. Oh, gutted, guys. The bloody state of it. Feeling proper guilty now. It's not taking off a plaster, isn't it? A bandage. We might put the paint over it, new paint. It'll have loads of bits, stuff like this on it, all over it. When you repaint it, you won't notice. I wonder if we could just put a bit of gaffer tape over that for now. Maybe just that new side put on. Make it look nice again, because it is just that one bit, isn't it? That's what I'm most off about. My heart sank when I saw this come off when I was reversing out.
I don't know why, because that's like the easiest thing to fix. Just buy a new light.
Funnily enough, the light bulb that doesn't work is still attached. I don't think many narrowboats have these navigation lights, so I was always pretty chuffed with them. I thought they were a nice, lovely little feature, so I'll definitely be buying a couple of new ones and getting them on both sides. The nicest one there either, is it? Step one, I think, is to get some red oxide on some of these spots where there's bare steel, and then we come back and paint it up with my special colour match. What a bloody mess, eh? Oh, but we're back. We're home. We've made it. I mean, good God.
First, I'm just going to quickly sandpaper off the flaky paint. I'm a bit worried about just leaving all these sort of gouges without anything on them, because they're down to the bare metal, so we're just going to pop a bit of red oxide on them to keep them protected, stop any corrosion from starting to eat into the metal.
Gouge? It's a love bite. What are you talking about? She's going to have loads of love bites. So in this episode, we are going to rectify our mistakes. We are going to make her look all lovely again. We're going to paint her up and make her look just like new. I mean, this draws even more attention to the carnage. Bex has really milked that. That's the whole strip. That bit never even went in. When the hell did that? Because it was only up to here that it went into the...
Something's definitely happened there though, because it was fresh. It was right shiny metal, so
that's been milked. Check this out. We found a souvenir. That's part of the bridge that we took out. But yeah, one's ended up lodged in the front here of the boat. God, your face is as red as a little baby tomato.
It
Is that from when we got stuck?
To be fair, you're quite red in the face as well.
Is that from when we got stuck?
I think yesterday it was just hot, and then when you're travelling on the water reflects it, so you always catch the sun more.
I didn't know Children in Need came early this year.
Comic relief, you knobber.
Is it? Comic relief, that's the one, you know, the one with the red nose. I didn't know it was a Christmas Day. Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Alright, anyway, we're stopping there.
I've got to go put some ice on my nose.
So if you remember, we checked the fuel before we left. We're going to have another look now. So we've travelled 7 hours, would you say? 7 hours, so let's see what we're up to, because we thought we might not have enough. Go! Where was it?
I think it was about there.
Yeah.
It was something like that.
And now it's
Yeah.
point where it is now?
That's it.
Yeah, that's where it is.
So we've used about 2 inches of diesel.
So a temporary fix on the little corner bit on the boat here.
We're just going to put a barrier in between that and the cratch cover so it doesn't transfer the paint on, because although it's almost dry, it's still a bit tacky. So just a bit of tape for that.
It's alright, yeah. Because obviously the idea of us getting the cratch cover was because we didn't want to get water in there, because it leads down into the bow thruster area, and yeah, we don't want to bring that leak back. Well, it's back now, isn't it? Looks like a really old cratch cover now.
It's got all the dust from the bridge on it, hasn't it?
I could re-edit that footage and make it look like you were the one that went into the bridge, couldn't I? Let's see how that would have looked. So a new day, and the river flow up this way looks fine. In fairness, it looked fine when we set off as well. It was just once we got going we sort of realised. A strong reminder that the rivers are not always safe. To the bottom of the screen, Sopran Ella had welcomed us home, and today we're going to paint the boat back up and make it look all lovely. Morning, guys. God, what a mess. A new day, a new mission. Let's get some of my special colour match going. What do you reckon? I've checked on the bow thruster again today. Absolutely no water in there again, so that's good news for a change. So hopefully our theory that it's condensation is true, because the front door down here on the bow thruster has been open for probably 2 months now, so it's got to be condensation. Anyway, you've had enough of the condensation story. On to the next saga, that blimmin' crash, eh? So I feel I've got some of my special paints down in the water tank area, so I can start creating my special colour match. Me and Becca had a theory on the narrowboat, actually. We thought, why do we want to keep it all looking all lovely and nice? It's all great for a aesthetically pleasing view for a passerby, but when you're living on it, it's probably quite a good idea to have it a bit sort of grubby and stuff, because it shows that, you know, you haven't got too much money and you're not storing too much expensive equipment on the narrowboat. It's a good excuse anyway, isn't it, when you see the amount of scratches that I've created this last week. So any towpath baddies would just move on to a more nicer looking boat, wouldn't they? I mean, if they did, in fairness, they'd probably be in for a big shop. If there was ever a better time. So time to hunt down my special paints and solutions. Today, Chrissy Crobot has got some making up to do. How do you think my colour match will go? It's a nightmare. Every time you try and get into the front here, where the water tank is, you've got to move everything out of the way. It'd be nice to clear this all out and have a nice little sort of summer house area. Conservatory, that was it, wasn't it? Little conservatory area. At the moment, it's just the shed at the moment. Again, even more of a mess. What a vlog! Watching some terrible narrowboat and trying to find out where his paint is. Still there? My babies are back with the glove. Thanks to David on the marina, we have some proper duck food. So, yeah, can't keep giving them naan breads, can we? That's the one we want. That's the one we want. And the enamel black. They're my two special ingredients, secret ingredients for my special colour match. I can match any colour in the whole wide world perfectly. Trust me, guys. We'll take that too, like that. And that. And that. And that. Straight into the water. Oh no. Doesn't always go to plan. Let's try again. Perfect. And you wonder why it all goes wrong, eh? You wonder why it all goes wrong. Oh. Right, back to the operation. Time for the rectification process. Is that the right word? Rectification? Can't show too much of my secret recipe, can I? Unwrap the war wound. I mean, it gets me every time, this. It is like taking off a bandage to a wound. Good God. Just a little bump. So first off, we're going to sandpaper the little areas of red oxide so that when we put the paint on it, it sticks on there. Keying is the process. That's the word I was looking for. So I think just very gentle. We are not ashamed to say we carry out all our DIY in-house, hence why we haven't left the marina for 2 years. Yeah, we probably should call someone in, but we're a bit skint. So just a light keying, and then we get ready for my special colour match. So I'm going to get the paintbrush in there first, I think. It's alright, looking too bad. I mean, anything's going to look better than the red oxide, isn't it, at this point? I'm going to roller nose this too, but first of all, just so I can... What racket? First of all, just before I do, I want to make sure I get into all the corners. There is no right or wrong way to do this, guys. Just do what works, and this works for me. I'm going to whack it on with a paintbrush first, and then I'm going to go over it with the roller nose. And we're nearly ready to get roller nosing. Love a roller nose. Yeah, the only reason I'm using this little fella is because I'm hoping it'll just make it all tie in a bit better and make it look a bit neater. I mean, could you do it any gentler? Jesus, it's like a feather, isn't it? What's the point, you ask? It's definitely doing something. Little disclaimer, probably best not to copy my method. Have a look what you think. I don't think it's come out too bad, actually. Yeah, you can't even tell. And an impressive and probably a lucky colour match that I got away with, but it looks fine, doesn't it? It's only a little bit off, could do with a bit of red in there, I think, but we haven't got any, so. This was an old one that I done ages ago, and it completely blends in, really. I'm glad I still got it. Remember the first time I done it? Absolutely dreadful. But then once I got the knack of it, after doing it a few times, it came out quite good, actually. Especially from a distance, and our crotch cover will hide this horrible little bump too. I'm hoping that this dries really quickly because the weather is looking a little bit shifty here in England, so as you know, it can change from one minute to the next, and it does rain a lot. I mean, you wouldn't even notice, would you? I'm actually proper chuffed with that. I think that's come out quite good for a beginner. Buggered, as you can see. Shame guys, isn't it? It's a shame it's happened, and shame on me. Now all I need, some blue gaffer tape. What do you reckon? Like always, a temporary fix, my poor little navigation light, and a bent chimney. Welcome to life as a cruising narrowboat channel. For 2 days.